People need to stop downplaying what happened to Demetria Kalogeras at Coachella. Multiple witnesses have said that while Demetria Kalogeras was taking photos with a fan, a man came up and smacked her behind, like, unsolicited.
I remember walking out of there, I was fucking limping, guys. Like, it was the worst experience of my life. But no one gave it, like, everyone around there, like, everyone saw it.
You guys are literally not going to believe the absolute rot, the filth, the radioactive waste that is coming out of the internet today regarding Demetria Kalogeras. I feel sick. I legitimately feel like I need to go lie down in a dark room with a weighted blanket because the lack of empathy I am witnessing is giving brain rot. It is giving I have never felt the touch of a human being in my life. We are talking about a literal crime, a traumatic event where a girl was in public, and people are in the comments arguing about semantics? People are making jokes? What happened to Demetria at Coachella? Coachella, the place where you're supposed to be wearing glitter, overpaying for water, listening to music, and vibing in the desert. Demetria was there, doing her job. And let's be clear, for an influencer, taking photos is the job. She was standing in a crowded area, taking photos with fans, being nice, engaging, smiling, doing the whole "hi guys, love you" routine. And then, out of nowhere, this grown man, a fully grown, adult human male who pays taxes, walks up to her and smacks her on the behind. And I don't mean a little tap. I don't mean a brush. I don't mean an accidental, "oops, I bumped into you." No, she literally said, "I remember walking out of there limping, guys. Like it was the worst experience of my life." Limping. Do you understand how hard you have to hit someone to make them limp? She went on to say that if he had hit her in the face with that same force, it would have knocked her out cold. She said the slap that I endured that day could literally, if he would have hit me on my face like that, he would have killed me. That is not content. That is violence. That is a She talked about being in shock. She said, "I never cry. Like I cry on impact." That is a trauma response, bestie. That is your body reacting to a violation before your brain can even process it. She was shaking, she was crying, she was overwhelmed. And she specifically mentioned this detail that haunts me. She said she turned around to see who did it, going full big mama mode as she called it, trying to figure out who touched her, and the guy is just walking away with his girlfriend. Can we just pause and obsess over this detail for a second? Imagine being that girlfriend. I need to take a detour here because I cannot process this. Imagine you are walking with your man at a festival. He assaults a stranger in front of you, and you just keep walking? You just grab a smoothie and head to the next stage? Absolutely not. Jail immediately. Break up immediately. Call the police immediately. The fact that he felt comfortable enough to do that in front of a partner shows a level of entitlement that is actually pathologic. And the fact that she just walked away with him? It tells me everything I need to know about the company he keeps. So Demetria is traumatized. She has a visible mark on her body that lasted for days, a bruise. She is crying, she is overwhelmed, she is trying to escape a packed crowd while terrified. And she decides to share this vulnerable, horrible moment with her audience. She sits down in front of a camera and tells her story. And what does the internet do? Do they rally around her? Do they say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry"? Do they start a hashtag to find the guy? No. They decided to open the gates of hell. But before we get into these disgusting comments, and trust me, we will, and I am going to drag every single one of them for filth, we need to talk about the lore here. Because this hatred didn't just appear out of thin air. There is context, and honestly, the context makes the reaction even more twisted. The Kalogeras sisters have been the internet's punching bag for a hot minute. If you've been following the drama, you know exactly what I am talking about. First, we have the politics thing. Oh boy, the politics thing. A while back, people found out their mom reposted some Trump-related stuff on Instagram. And listen, I get it. In this political climate, with everything going on, ICE raids, the immigration chaos, the talk about buying Greenland, which was a fever dream in itself, people are on edge. People are valid in their feelings. But the internet took that repost from their mother and immediately branded the sisters as hardcore Trumpies. They projected the mom's beliefs directly onto the daughters. Demetria literally had to come out and shut it down. She replied to comments saying they are not Trump supporters and they are not Zionists. She had to issue a political clarification because her mom liked a Facebook post. That is the level of scrutiny they are under. It is guilt by association on steroids. Then there was the bullying accusation with the Kalogeras sisters. This was messy. The fans, the Kalogeras Nation or whatever they call themselves, started sending death threats to these other creators because they thought the Kalogeras were copying content. Oh, you're copying their edits. Oh, you're chunking it and plumping it. It was ridiculous. The fans were acting like rabid attack dogs. And because the Kalogeras sisters didn't call them off fast enough, people started blaming them for the bullying. So there was this narrative that they were mean girls, that they were fostering a toxic community. It became this whole us versus them war, where if you supported the Geogardis, you had to hate the Kalogeras sisters, and vice versa. It was peak high school drama played out on a global stage. And then, of course, the diabetes joke. You guys remember the diabetes joke? It lives rent-free in my head as one of the cringiest moments in TikTok history. They were at Walmart holding a cake, and one of them said, "Look guys, they sell this cake now so you guys can get diabetes at Walmart." It was insensitive. It was gross. A creator even made a whole video essay calling them out, saying it's disgusting to mock a disease that affects real families and real lives. And I agree, it was a bad joke. They should be held accountable for that. It was a flop. But here is where the logic disconnects for me. Here is where my brain starts to short circuit and smoke comes out of my ears. Since when does making a bad joke or having a problematic mom mean you deserve to be physically assaulted? Make it make sense. Please, I am begging you, connect the dots for me, because I cannot see the line. The internet has this sick obsession with the perfect victim. Like, in order to feel bad that someone got hurt, that person has to be a saint. They have to be unproblematic, they have to be an angel, they have to have never made a mistake in their life. The second you have a cancellation moment, it's like open season on your body. It is dehumanizing, like actually dystopian. One person, and I cannot believe a human being typed this out and hit post, wrote, "Not hate, but she got slapped on her butt and that is not getting SA'd. I still feel very bad for her." Excuse me? Not hate, but? The minute you start a sentence with not hate, but, you are about to say something hateful. And the audacity to gatekeep sexual assault. You are literally sitting behind a keyboard, probably with Cheeto dust on your fingers, telling a girl who was left limping and terrified that her trauma doesn't count because of your arbitrary definition. This comment is gaslighting 101. It's minimizing. It's saying, oh, you're overreacting. No, she is not overreacting. A stranger put his hands on her body with force. Here is another one that made my blood boil. Someone commented, "Why are the comments just critiques? Why is only 15% caring about her?" This isn't a hate comment directly at her, but it highlights the hate. Why are the comments critiques? Because people are miserable. Because people see a successful, pretty girl going through something terrible, and their first instinct is to kick her while she's down. They are critiquing her reaction to her own trauma. Oh, why did she cry like that? Oh, why is she talking about it? Oh, she's just doing it for clout. Shut up. Literally, shut up. You are critiquing a crime scene, essentially. Imagine witnessing a car crash and standing on the sidewalk critiquing the driver's outfit. That is the energy these people have. It is sociopathic. Here is another one from the depths of hell. It's crazy that no matter what happens to these girls, the haters will still find a way to show how much they hate them, even if something wrong happened to them. This comment is exactly right, but in the saddest way possible. It sums up the situation. The haters are so committed to the bit, so committed to the I hate the Kalogeras sisters bandwagon, that they will abandon their own morals just to stay on the ride. Even if something wrong happened, even if a crime occurred. They don't care. They just want to hate. They have built their entire personality around hating these girls, so when something serious happens, they can't pivot. They can't switch gears to empathy, because their identity is wrapped up in being a hater. And then there's the classic victim blaming, masked as commentary, karma for the diabetes joke. I saw this sentiment everywhere. People implying that because she made an offensive joke years ago, the universe sent a man to assault her at Coachella. Are you listening to yourselves? That is not how karma works. That is not how the universe works. That is magical thinking used to justify misogyny. You are using spirituality to excuse violence. That is so twisted. I don't even know where to begin. But thankfully, not everyone in the comment section has a smooth brain. There were some people who actually have a soul. Let's read the support because I need to cleanse my palate before I throw up. One user wrote, "I actually feel so terrible for them. They always get sexualized by their fans. They can't have normal interactions without someone being weird, and I just feel so much for them." Yes, this is the correct take. The sisters have spoken about this before. This isn't the first time. Remember the cruise ship video? There was a clip months ago where a random stranger tried to touch Demetria on a cruise, and she looked so uncomfortable. She was like, "No, I can't do that anymore," and the fan kept pushing. She has been targeted repeatedly. They are constantly sexualized because they are attractive girls who dance, and somehow people think that gives them a free pass to treat them like public property. It is parasocial relationships gone wrong. You do not know them. You do not own them. You are not entitled to touch them. Another support comment read, "People need to stop downplaying what happened to Demetria Kalogeras at Coachella. Multiple witnesses have said that while Demetria Kalogeras was taking photos with a fan, a man came up and smacked her behind like unsolicited. Exactly. The witnesses saw it. Demetria said, "Everyone saw it and no one gave." And that is the part that breaks my heart the most. The bystander effect. Hundreds of people around, everyone with their phones out, everyone watching, and no one helped. No one grabbed the guy. No one asked if she was okay. They just watched. And now the internet is doing the same thing. Watching and commenting. Another person wrote, "The way some people are mocking Demetria's trauma is disgusting, because what happened here isn't something to joke about. This is real life. Real life. We forget that. We scroll on TikTok, and everything feels like a skit. Everything feels like content. But that bruise on her leg? That was real. The fear she felt? That was real. The limp? Real. When she said, 'I remember walking out of there limping,' she wasn't writing a script. She was recounting a memory of pain. And then there was this comment which hit the nail on the head. It's ridiculous in this generation. Even if you don't like them, have some human decency to be aware of it, instead of acting like what happened is okay when it's not. People treat influencers like NPCs in a video game. They forget that Demetria is a real person. If this had happened to literally anyone else, if this had happened to, say, I don't know, Zendaya or some other beloved celebrity that the internet has decided is untouchable, the reaction would be totally different. People would be doxing the guy. They would be calling the FBI, screaming about women's safety and consent. But because it's the Kalogeras sisters, because they are cringe, because they are loud, because of the politics stuff, suddenly consent is debatable, suddenly safety is optional. That is hypocrisy. That is selective activism. You don't get to pick and choose who deserves safety based on whether or not you like their TikToks. That is not how human rights work, bestie. I need us to really sit with the quote Demetria gave about the limp. "I remember walking out of there limping." Imagine the force, a grown man's hand, and the psychological impact of that, being in a crowd, feeling safe, and then suddenly, whack, and then realizing no one did anything. She said, "Everyone saw it, and no one gave. No one helped. The bystanders just watched." It reminds me of when the sisters talked about how they can't even go to the mall without being swarmed. They are kind, they are polite, they take the photos, but boundaries do not exist for these fans. And honestly, I blame the cringe culture. We have decided that if someone is cringe, they are subhuman. The Kalogeras sisters are loud. They scream. They do the chunking it thing. They have that chaotic energy that some people find annoying. Fine. Find it annoying. Block them. Click not interested. But the leap from, "I find this girl annoying," to, "I am going to mock her sexual assault," is a leap that only a sociopath makes. We need to touch grass. We need to look in the mirror. If your reaction to a woman getting hit is, "Well, she made a diabetes joke 3 years ago," you are the problem. You are the villain in the story. I don't care how annoying you find them. I don't care if you think their content is brain rot. No one deserves to be touched without their consent. Period. I am legitimately worried for the future of the internet if this is where we are at. We are normalizing violence because we find the victim annoying. That is a slippery slope, and we are sliding down it at Mach speed. I want to know what you guys think, but honestly, if you are going to defend the guy who did this, don't even bother commenting. I will block you. I will delete it. I do not have time for apologists today, but for the rest of you who still have a moral compass, let me know how you're feeling. Does this double standard make you as rage-filled as it makes me? I love you guys, stay safe, keep your hands to yourself, and for the love of God, stop victim blaming on the internet. It's not a good look.